Okay, I wanted to make a quick video on the solar eclipse and new moon happening in Virgo in the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni. So this nakshatra is where we move from Leo into Virgo, and Leo is where we are like the king or the kingdom, or we're celebrating the king or the kingdom. And then Virgo is where we like look to the details. And in Uttara Falguni, this is where we take the agreements that we make with the king and the kingdom, and then we negotiate those agreements and solidify them. And so when this transition is happening, it can mean like renegotiating marriage partnerships or things like that. It can also mean marriage itself and the contract of marriage. And right now, when we look around the world on the macro level, we can see a lot of people getting upset with the government or the kingdom and kind of trying to renegotiate what those deals are. We can also see the kingdom trying to renegotiate their deals, and we see that power struggle happening between the government and the people in charge and the people, the collective. And on a micro level, you may actually be renegotiating areas of your life with family or in your relationships. And new moons are always a good time to start something new, or to it's the dark moon, so it's the time to go in and figure out what our heart's desires are and bring those into manifestation. And we start that on the, like, usually it's best to start the day after or the second day after the new moon, because the new moon is dark. There's no energy from the moon, so it's the time where we can kind of think about what we want to begin, and then the next day we can begin it. And so if you are trying to align with Virgo and the new moon energy right now in India, the first or the new moon, the first day of the new moon in Virgo marks a holiday they call Navratri. And this means 9 nights. And it's 9 nights of celebrating the goddess Durga, which represents the divine Shakti energy. And if you look around in the world right now, I think we see a lot of the Shiva masculine energy. You can see it with how everyone's just so ambitious. Go, go, go. We don't really appreciate art, and we kind of like, we appreciate people who are just always working and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and figure it out on your own. And this is the way it always has been. And the Shakti energy is like the flow, the art, the creative side, the part of us that says maybe things can be different. Maybe we could do things a new way. Maybe we haven't even come up with a good idea yet. Maybe we still need to keep creating and going back to the drawing board and reevaluating our life. And this isn't to say that Shiva energy is bad. It's not. Neither Shiva or Shakti energy is good or bad or positive or negative. It's neutral. And we need both energies. So the Shiva energy is the structure that holds the stability together. And then the Shiva energy, or the Shakti energy, can come in and flow through the stability of Shiva. And so we need both energies. We would never want to get too Shakti, or we're just floating around, and we can't get too Shiva, or we're stuck and we're unable to adapt and grow. And Shakti energy is that intuitive space in us that allows for grace, it allows for mistakes, it allows for curiosity, and it appreciates the finer, more beautiful, pleasurable things in life. And so we need both. But right now we can tell that we're in a time when we're dominated by a lot of Shiva. And so in order to bring balance, we want to bring in more Shakti. And over the next 9 nights, you could think about ways of bringing in more Shakti energy, being creative, writing, painting, journaling, anything that's connecting to that deeper heart and creating art or beauty is Shiva. And so I invite you to connect deeper into that Shakti awakening energy that we all need so much right now. And one thing I'll say also about eclipses is it's a time where it's like we can balance the cosmos by unwinding some of the karma. So the planets move in a forward motion. So they go from Aries to Taurus to Gemini and so on. But the north and south nodes move in the opposite direction. And so these nodes are unwinding our karma. And when we have these eclipses, it's kind of like a little portal to balance the karma in the other direction. And so you can see these as portals of time that bring balance to the cosmos. And right now, that balance is coming in the form of Shakti. So something to think about. If you want to know more about your north and south nodes and how they're unwinding your karma, you can email me and get a reading or go to my website. And I hope you have a nice day.